Vanessa here from the Craft Corner. So today I want to show you a really simple window decoration for Halloween. You might hear my dog in the background. He's just heard me start talking and he thinks it's time for him to, join the party. No, it isn't, Paco. This year I didn't have a lot of time for thinking about how I was going to decorate the window, so I wanted to keep it really simple. I got the idea of spider webs and I did look online and you could buy them, but I thought this is something I can make myself. So first thing I did was look at some photographs and see, well, how would they be made? And then I got myself some white paper, a pencil and a scissors and a ruler, and that's all that you need. Super simple materials. I'll put them all in the description below and then we can get started. So this is a spider web that I've already made. Now, when I stick it to the window, I'll flatten it out and I'll just use a few little glue dots to stick this to the window so I can take it off easily. You can see that it can work either way, and because it's in a square, this will go against the edge of the window pane. So the first thing you might want to do is measure your windows and decide how big a space you need to cover. I'm using very large sheets for this, like A3 size, but you could use smaller. It doesn't matter, just use whatever paper you have. My desk is a bit dirty at the moment because I've been doing lots of crafting this week. So here is my paper, and these are rectangular sheets. And the first thing I want to do is make them into squares. There's actually a video over on my channel. It's one of my most popular videos. It shows you how to turn a rectangle into a square. So if you want to watch it in more close detail, you can. Basically what you do is you take one point or one corner, fold it over so that this side is lined up with that side, and then I don't like to crease this too much because I don't want to see that crease line just yet. Use your ruler there and draw a line. If you have a guillotine, you could use a guillotine, or you could use a scissors to cut. And I just have, these are just simple classroom scissors, so I'm using very basic materials to show you don't need anything fancy to make some Halloween decorations that are sustainable and plastic free from your home. And if you didn't have white paper, you could always use like newspaper, any paper that you have. They don't have, spider webs don't have to be white. So now, these squares, the next thing we're going to do is make them into a circle, a curve shape. So you can do this two ways. You can freehand the curve, but I actually like to bend it in. So I've got a few sheets here, and basically I'm just doing this to save myself time, that I'm doing a few sheets at a time. So this is, if you look at it this way, see how it's a diamond shape? This point here of your diamond, I'm folding it in so that this line is against the middle line, okay? And then this line here, again, fold it in so they meet, like that. It still has a diamond shape to it, okay? And then turn it over, and this point, you're gonna fold it over until it comes, to that point there. Okay, see? So now here we're going to just cut a curve. So if you want to measure this is 29.5 and so 29.5. So you can do the curve so that it's the same, but if it's a little bit, honestly, if it's not exactly the same length, it's not really going to make a difference. You just wouldn't want it to go like right down like this. Keep it about even, but you can measure here and measure there just to make sure. Then you're going to cut this out. So I've got a few layers here, but again, the reason I'm doing this is just because very low on time this year, so I just need to make things as quick as possible. I'm going to rub this line out because I'm going to be seeing my spider webs from both sides and I don't want to see any pencil lines. Now, this stage, I'm going to open it out and you can see I have a curve. So these are going to be slightly smaller than these ones because the paper I'm using is a bit smaller. So you can see how you can make them lots of different sizes. Now for this part, I'm just going to do one at a time because I'm going to be cutting through several layers. And if I had more than one layer, it would be very tricky. So I fold them all back into that shape again, little slice of a cake shape. This, I'll just put this here so you can see it. So This is a bigger version of this before it had, so this is before it has all the stuff cut out of it. This here is the edge, so this is the open part of your spider web. So that's what we're going to be doing first. So I'm going to use a pencil for this because I want to be able to rub it out, because double-sided, I don't want to see it. So this side, what you do is you draw 2 little lines, and then if the point is towards my tummy, I'm doing a little curve like that. Okay, that's my first curve, and there. Now I want this line to be the same all the way along. So along here, I'm going to draw a line down so you can see how that's pretty much the same width. And on this side, I'm going to do the same and do a line all the way along. So this is going to be cut out, so put an X here. And the next is the little bar. So see this here? That's what we're doing now. So I'm going to just go. When I'm drawing this in, if you wanted, if you were a bit nervous about drawing this shape, what you could do is you could get like a curve shape trace if you wanted to. But I'm okay with doing it like this. So then the next part I'm going to be cutting out. Do another little curve. Doing it nice and lightly so I can rub them out. And then anywhere I'm putting an X is where I'm cutting out. So another little curve, come down again, curve. So you don't want these to be straight lines. You want them to be little curves. And as you get down towards the center, this point here, it'll get trickier to cut out because the space is getting smaller. So the last one, probably going to put like that. So now I have all the pieces I'm going to cut out. This first one, I can cut out like this because it's going from the edge, and curve it around. To save myself some rubbing, I'm also going to cut the pencil line. So that's my first part, done. And then here, for this one, this is inside, so I can't cut in like this. If you had a craft knife, you could use a craft knife, but we're just using the scissors. So this next part, I'm going to fold this over like this. So it can be a bit tricky when you're folding right into the center. So for this part here, kind of hold it together and squish in, okay? And then get your scissors and you're going to cut from the center through. So this you leave. So what I do is I do all of these first. I'm just doing nice, slow little cuts, not rushing it, taking my time. And then turn this, make sure it's nice and flat, and then cut along here. And see with these fingers, I'm holding this because I don't want it to move. Like so. If it's not coming out, just kind of go back again. Sometimes you need to get a corner. Now, the next part. Hold it. So again, when I'm cutting, I'm holding at the same time, because if I don't hold, these will move and then you'll get them different sizes. So see the way it's wanting to move there? You see that? So just hold it and cut. And you might, if the paper's too thick, you might need a little hand with this, so you might need someone to help you. Even just on this part. This part here is the trickiest part to cut. So don't be afraid to ask for some help. Now, there are all my little scraps. I might even end up using them for something. While this is still together, I'm just going to very carefully get rid of those pencil lines. Now, you've got to be really careful when you're doing this because remember, it's paper. You don't want to tear it. So just take your time, nice and slowly. And see how I'm holding here like this? My fingers, so it's holding the paper, stopping it from moving, and I'm just going very carefully along here. I haven't, that's why I used a light pencil. And if it does tear, you could just put a little bit of paper on it. Or it could just be an old spider web. Now, so if if we've done our calculations right. This is the moment of truth. And we open up. And there we have our spider web. So you can make as many of these as you like in different sizes. And you have very simple, very easy to do paper decorations. And I can fold these up and store them and keep them for next year as well. Happy Halloween!